Welcome back here to Bangor. It's Game 8 of the North Atlantic Conference softball tournament between the home team of the Thomas College Terriers, the 6th seed after getting a win earlier today against SUNY Morrisville. Now we'll play once again the 3 seed University of Maine at Farmington Beavers. They matched up yesterday and had a fantastic game. We're looking for a repeat performance of that one today as Ethan Moss alongside Avery Henningsen. Avery, we think that this is going to be a great matchup, these two teams. The Beavers looking for a bit of revenge after it was Thomas that initially sent them down into the losers bracket in that second game yesterday. What ended up being a 12-8 final score there.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a good contest, Ethan. Farmington came away with both the victories in the regular season. So they definitely have the pedigree. I think the big difference in that game yesterday, it was Oberholzer on the mound for her first pitching performance since early March, I believe. So I think definitely impacting that one a little bit. Also, the Terriers' bats came alive in the second half of that game. The pitching difference didn't really make a difference in the run support for Farmington. It was more just the Terriers managed to put up more runs on them. So we'll see how the Terriers do in their second game here today.
And they swung the bat well earlier against Cobleskill in order to knock Cobleskill out of the tournament against Morrisville earlier to get here. And Oberholzer had a fantastic performance in the circle and at the dish in order to keep the Terriers alive and get them to this game here against the Beavers. The Beavers knocked out the 4 seed Tigers of Cobleskill. The Fighting Tigers knocked out earlier today by this team. We saw Mayo get the start for that one. She'll get the start back in the circle for the Beavers today. As we look at the starting lineup for the Beavers, it'll be Abby Rinn leading it off, and at shortstop it'll be JoJo Digno. In center, Maddie Pike at third, followed by Krista Allen, the designated player, Grace Platt at first, and Bella Miller behind the dish, Olivia Parody at second. Then it'll be Jessica Dow in right. And in left field, it'll be Emily Collins. Similar lineup, or the same lineup as in the last 2 games for the Beavers, trying to turn it around against the Terriers after dropping that earlier decision in the tournament. Terriers will have Pickering leading off, and playing left field, Leah Knight will be at second base. Maddie Rock at short, with Megan Oberholzer at first. This is her first appearance in the field without pitching. So a little break from the circle. It'll be Jenny Witten, first year in the circle for the Terriers. Emily Rock at third base. We've seen her make a few highlight plays at the hot corner, trying to keep that rolling against the Beavers. Then behind the dish, the battery mate for Witten, Kayla Duhame, followed by the right fielder, Brooklyn Federico, and lastly in center, out of the 9-hole, will be Abby Ferrone for these 2 lineups. That's how they stack up as they get ready to take the field. Remember, it's Game 8. The winner of this one will go on to play Pauley in Game 9. That'll be about a half hour, 45 minutes after the conclusion of this one, and for a spot in the championship final tomorrow. Team coming out of the losers bracket would have to beat the Eagles twice in order to claim the title. The Eagles would just have to win once, as it's a double elimination tournament. And this, the quarterfinal, they get set. Taking a look at some of these numbers for the Beavers. They're hitting at 322 on the year, so that offense among the best in the region. In terms of average, they're putting up about 6.3 runs per game. The Terriers haven't had the greatest pitching on the season, 4.65 ERA. But again, a lot of that could be attributed to the fact that Oberholzer not in the circle.
I think definitely in the sport of softball, if you can have that one dominant pitcher, they can really almost pitch every game. You're seeing it right now with Farmington bringing out the same pitcher they had in Game 1 here today. So it's really just important to have that pitcher. I would not be surprised later in this game if Oberholzer might re-enter this one later in this game to try to either seal it out or stop the bleeding out there for Thomas. And I think missing her for a lot of the year definitely hurt the team in the pitching statistics. Batting-wise, she was as excellent as ever, one of the better players in the conference. And we saw that in Game 1 for her earlier.
Yeah, she's hitting up near 400, and as well as turning fantastic performances on the mound for Thomas. Last year, they went 16-15 and ended up as the 2 seed out of the East. This year ended up out of the 16 going 7-21. So that difference with Oberhalser does have a huge impact on how that record turns out and where you sit in the standings.
And I think it's definitely going to be tough for both these teams. Just kind of the road to that championship game is difficult. That you're going to have to play what would be your third game of the day if you win this one against a team that, having just played only one, but having one of the better pitchers in the league as well, if not the best pitcher in the league in Cronatelli. So it's going to be difficult, I think, for either of these teams to make it to that final day of playing Husson, who have just looked dominant throughout this entire playoff run.
Well, a quick ground out for Abby Rinn brings up JoJo Dano. Terriers already notching their first out before we even finish talking about the scope of the tournament. Jenny Witten, the starter, 5.33 ERA across 42 innings of work during the regular season. Posted a 3-8 record in that span. Goes across 7 starts, 10 appearances in all for the freshman out of Enfield, Maine. 2 familiar opponents, both playing in the East Division of the North Atlantic Conference as Dano skies this one. Emily Rock right there for out number 2.
Yeah, and we saw Whidden take on Farmington earlier in the season. Pitched about 6 1/3 innings in that one. Had 4 earned runs, but was the victor in one of those 2 games that Farmington and Thomas played each other in.
Almost smothers the comebacker. Rock, no chance at a play, as Pike will reach on the error. Bringing up Allen, the designated player. So Pike, who was one of the key offensive pieces for this Beavers lineup, hasn't had the greatest tournament. On base with 2 outs here in the first. Allen gives this one a ride out to left field. That one near the fence, and it's gone! Krista Allen tees off here in the first inning to give the Beavers the 2-0 lead on a 2-run shot.
What a piece of hitting there from Allen. I was just about to talk about how the team that gets out to that early lead in a lot of these tournament games has been finishing well out there, and that one just bombed out to left field. Heard that one kind of off the bat.
Allen gets her first home run of the season after just notching 3 doubles, 14 RBIs during the regular season. Bringing up Grace Platt after the home run.
Yeah, and what a way to do it there for Allen. When I think as a batter, you wouldn't rather have it at any other point as when you're playing in a playoff game.
No better spot to do it, as you're saying.
I think definitely advantage Farmington already in this one. I think the teams, when you put up those early runs, it can shake the pitcher a little bit, and then it can also give you the confidence and or your pitcher for them just coming out on the mound already up 2 in this one.
Yeah, that first matchup for the Beavers, they were able to jump out to a 3-0 lead after the first. Then after that, they were held scoreless for 5 consecutive innings before hopping back on the board. But by then, too little, too late. So we'll see what they can do to change that around against Witten this time. Platt taking that one for a called strike. Now 3-1 to count. 2 down here in the first. Pratt sends this one to Oberhalser, in and out of the glove. She steps on the bag to retire her counterpart. As it'll be the Terriers coming up to bat with Pickering Knight and Maddie Rock when we come back. Back here from Bangor for the bottom half of the first. Terriers up to bat for the first time. They'll face off against Melissa Mayo. Started the earlier game for the Beavers. Pitched very well to limit Morrisville. Working through that Mustangs lineup for her 6th complete game of the season. That one fouled back to the screen by Pickering. 0-2.
And we saw the Thomas team in the earlier game really kind of explode offensively, and really when they played Farmington as well, especially that top part of the lineup, the 1 through 6 batters were playing well in both those contests.
1-2 as that one misses just outside. Now Pickering down 1-2. The pitch from Mayo is sent foul just out of the reach of good sizable Farmington supporter portion off the bleachers.
Yeah, I'm sure Farmington definitely having some fans. Thomas as well coming up here. A little bit interesting for this softball tournament. It's kind of off of for those not aware, a lot of the colleges have already graduated and a lot of kids have already gone home for the summer. So I think if this game was in kind of mid-May or something like that, or mid-April, you might see some more fans come up for a game like this.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Thomas only about an hour away. You got to think a lot of families still in the area for a lot of these players. Same sort of thing for the Beavers.
Well, both schools also, a lot of the players being some resident Mainers as well. So I think a lot of both these teams' rosters are from Maine.
Mayo comes back there. Like a breaking ball to the outside part to get Knight to chase. Count even at 1-1. Squared around a bunt, but able to pull it back. It's 2-1. Drawing that infield in, Knight with great speed.
We've seen her lay down a couple little infield hits, bunts in this tournament already to just get on base any way she can.
Fought off towards right field. Dow right at the line makes the catch. Fill the cap high for out number 2.
The shortstop, number 12, Maddie Rock.
Now up steps Maddie Rock. Great day earlier, a great game earlier for the elder of the Rock sisters. Both of them had a great game. That first offering misses outside.
Yeah, both Rock sisters combining for some nice defensive plays out there. I think really helped Thomas kind of control that game. They had 2 or 3 double plays in that one. A number of just kind of catches on the line outs.
2-0. The grad student out of Bridgeton, Maine. Over there. And further past Farmington. So closer to Farmington than Thomas. But electing to go to the one down in Waterville. Find yourself ahead 3-0. 4-pitch walk. I'll keep the inning alive for the Terriers, and now bringing up Megan Oberholzer.
Number 30, Megan Oberholzer.
5 for 5 in the previous game. Trying to keep the day perfect.
I was about to say, really did it all for that Thomas team in that first game.
Take strike 1 from Mayo. Knight Rock off of first. Doesn't go very often, but is a good runner. Now the 1-1. Swing and a miss. Oberholzer out in front of that pitch from Mayo. Rise ball. Got her to bite. Now pitcher's count for Melissa Mayo. Trying to strike out one of the best hitters in this tournament, gets her to chase. Oberhalser strikes out as Mayo elevates and keeps the Terriers off the board here in the first. We head now to the second on the Husson Eagles Sports Network. Welcome back here for the top half of the second. It'll be Bella Miller digging in for the Beavers. Miller, the battery mate for Melissa Mayo. Miller hitting at 325 on the year. 3 extra base hits, 2 doubles and a triple for the freshman out of Saco. Eighth game and long tournament weekend, so to speak. This is high and away as they check down to see if she went. She did not. 2-0. Witten gets the signs from the dugout. Here's the pitch. Fought off to the screen. 2-1.
And we'll see how Witten does as this one progresses. Obviously, allowing that early home run can definitely shake the confidence of a pitcher a little bit. I think it makes it a little bit, maybe that might have been one of her better pitches that just got seen well by the batter. And then now every time after you throw that pitch, kind of that little sense of doubt creeps in.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you've just got to battle back from, especially in this playoffs kind of scenario. Again, you're trying to eat innings and do the best you can. Otherwise, Terriers might be looking back to Oberhalser. And she's had a long couple of days, and any sort of trying to maybe save her if Witten can go the distance in this one to save her for that second game against Pauley. That'll be a tough task for any pitcher. This one's sent out towards right field, just down the line, but that's foul.
Yeah, that one was just a couple feet from being in play. Probably would have managed to stream its way down there a little bit. I don't know if she would have gone for second, but definitely could have taken first easily.
Federico with a great arm out there and right. Can definitely get it in quickly.
Yeah, we saw the Terriers, I believe, had that bang-bang play at home in that first game. Or might have been the other team actually in Cobleskill. They gunned him out down at home plate.
So that was called catcher's interference there, as that results in Miller reaching at first. So that's a way to get on base to start off the inning. Olivia Parody now the batter, also a freshman out of Saco. Excuse me. Miller is a sophomore out of Lewiston. I was looking at the wrong name on my roster. Parody is freshman out of Saco.
Yeah, I mentioned it in the first contest between these two teams. Farmington, a very young roster this season. A lot of new players out there who have played well for them overall on the year. I believe they had 5 different players who were freshmen in that starting lineup.
Getting contributions from all of them, 4 of them Rookie of the Week winners in the North Atlantic Conference. A couple of them picked up Maine College Baseball Softball Association. This one on the ground towards Rock. Long throw as she gets the runner on the run. Harity is retired.
That was another excellent play there from Rock over at shortstop. That's a tough one to charge in on. Switch it to your throwing hand and then throw that kind of across your body. Try to get the runner over at first.
And all of that while on the run. As it's now Jessica Dow digging in. Takes a look at ball one at the inside. Beavers trying to add on another run here in the second with one out. This one is sent out towards left field. That one will get down and one hops the wall. Coming around to score will be Miller as Dow puts on the brakes at second. It's an RBI double and a 3-0 Farmington lead.
Number 16, Emily Collins.
That was another nice piece of hitting there. Dow, one of the better players in the league in batting average, kind of batting that tail end of the lineup, doing a good job there.
Yeah, Dow in the regular season was fourth in the North Atlantic Conference, 446, her average. Emily Collins, now the batter to face Witten. Golfs this one out of play. A 1-1. Collins waiting, hitting .240 on the season. She pops this one up. Who's going to get it? Oberhalser right on the line is there.
And we saw her have a good defensive performance in that earlier game against Morrisville. Obviously out there in the pitching circle, but I think she had 6 or 7 hits right at her that she managed to corral easily. Had that great double play on one of them. She kind of caught it cleanly off of her ankle, and you're seeing it here. Probably played a lot of first base for Thomas this season. Definitely has that defensive ability.
This one sent out towards left, but right there to get it is Pickering. As the Terriers able to escape the inning, only one run across for the Beavers. It's a 3-0 lead for Farmington. Thomas coming up to bat when we come back. It'll be Jenny Witten to start it out for the Terriers here in the bottom half of the second. Chance to help herself out in the circle. Witten hitting .221 on the season. 5 extra base hits to go along with that. 3 doubles and 2 triples. This one skied out towards shallow center. There to make the catch is Rin. Dagno right there to back her up.
The third baseman, number 17, Emily Rock.
And a quick out here of Witten.
And it's a good job by Farmington right now. They're kind of just scratching some runs across the board. I think if you can really just keep pushing forward, you don't have to have that big inning. If you kind of just put 1 or 2 up every inning, It was the same result as going scoreless for 5 and then putting up 5 runs in the 5th inning.
Yeah, if you can also keep Mac Bergen from coming in, that saves another arm for later today, as this one also popped up towards shallow left. Rin is there. Now to the catcher in Kayla Duhame, junior out of Ellsworth, hitting at 250 in the regular season. Takes a look at ball 1 upstairs from Mayo. This one pumped up right side. Parody has a beat on it in foul territory to make the catch. That ends the inning. Thomas goes 1, 2, 3. Here in the second, we head now to the third from Bangor. Back here for the third. It'll be JoJo Degno to lead it off for the Farmington. Popped out to Emily Rock at third her last time up, but was a tough out earlier today. They battled Morrisville. Beavers advancing to this thanks to winning over Morrisville. Thomas advancing to the win over Cobleskill.
Yeah, the East right now kind of showing their dominance over the west side of the bracket, at least in these early games so far. I think Pauley's still definitely a tough out as that 2 seed.
This one through and stopped, actually a short from Rock, but no chance at a throw with Degno getting down the line quickly. It's a leadoff base hit for the center fielder. We got Maddie Pike.
Yeah, that's one Rock probably should have just held on to over there. Could have been a dangerous throw across the diamond. If that one gets past Overhaul, definitely could have streamed its way past first base, but I think Rock confident in her abilities.
They know running, but it won't matter as that one rides inside and hits Pike. Pike reaches base for the second time today. And now the batter will be Krista Allen.
Designated player number 23, Krista Allen.
Well, Allen, obviously that home run back in the first to put up 2, take that early lead. On a pitch to hit, really loved it. Again, seeing Witten for the second time this season. Probably their best chance at hitting off of her. She's been very good throughout this tournament as this one has popped up towards the right side, off of the glove of Leah Knight at second. They get it in and able to get the runner Pike, the force out at second. So it'll be a fielder's choice as Allen reaches and there's runners on the corners. I believe Coach Plord coming out of the Terriers dugout wondering about infield fly rule and how that kind of plays into this ruling, but I was on the outfield grass. So checking it out with our home plate umpire as we await the at-bat from Grace Pratt. Freshman out of Rockland, hitting .368 this year, 9 RBIs for her. Swinging a good bat. Locked in a couple in that earlier contest. Chance to repeat that performance here with one down in the third. This one sent out towards right center. That'll get down in front of the right fielder, Federico. Degno comes in the back door as Allen moves over to second. It's an RBI single for Grace Pratt and a 4-0 lead for the Beavers.
Yeah, and Farmington just batting well right now. They're hitting them to all parts of the field, and they're getting those base hits and getting that early lead in this one.
Pratt able to send that opposite field. This inning alive. Keep this inning rolling, I should say. Still just the one out now for Bella Miller, who reached on the interference. Swing and a miss there. Drop ball from Witten. Had Miller over the top of it. And she's looking at that scouting report. The pitch swung on and missed. 1-2. So Witten, 2 quick strikes, 2 swings and misses from Bella Miller. Now the 1-2. That one up the middle. Step on the bag for one. On to first will be late as they'll just get the runner in Pratt. Good play from Knight at second to make sure she gets the one out.
The second baseman, number 9, Olivia Parody.
So another fielder's choice as Miller reaches now. Olivia Parody, second baseman, gets her second look at Witten. Watch the first one go by for strike one.
And we'll see what Farmington manages to do here in this situation. Obviously, the runners at the corners, they would love to try to make this a 5-run game.
Emily Rock from the hot corner, able to gun down Parody and scoops it out. Again, we mentioned in the pregame those Rock sisters on the left side of the infield turning in great defense. Showing it again here in the third. Welcome back, Ethan Moss alongside Avery Henningsen. Brooklyn Federico digging in. Out of the 8 spot, we'll see Ferrone and Pickering waiting on deck and in the hole respectively as this one popped back up towards us. That'll hit in the middle of the softball team, the Husson softball team. Nobody managed to make the catch. Talked about the defense of the Eagles being so fantastic, and they can't catch a pop-up in the stands.
I think they've definitely kind of put on the street clothes for today. Get ready for tomorrow and the championship.
Clock out. Stop thinking about it, maybe. Some well-earned rest. Federico's down 0-2. That one sent back and out of play.
Yeah, definitely the format of this tournament really helps those dominant teams. Husson right now, theoretically, if they win tomorrow, will have just only had to play 3 games on the weekend. The winner of this is going to have to play 3 games just today. So, definitely helping out those strong winning teams.
1-2 now to Federico. Pitch from Mayo sails high for ball 2. Two and two to number 2. Now 3-2. The key all tournament for all hitters really has just been patience at the plate. There's been a lot of times where working late counts has resulted in a pitch to hit or a walk. As Federico draws that walk. Again, working that count, seeing a lot of those pitches has really benefited the batters throughout this tournament.
And the Terriers in need of a little bit of something here in this inning. That Farmington's managed to scratch at least 1 run across every inning so far. You kind of can't let that trend keep continuing if you're Thomas. You're not going to get down by too much too early in this contest.
Barone trying to lay down the bunt. Fouled it back to the screen. Again, Federico off of first. Shows bunt again, puts it down this time, right in front of the plate. That's a good bunt. The throw goes high and in and out of the glove of the second baseman in parity, and she'll reach. Another error for the Beavers. And that'll go down as a hit. So Ferrone picks up a single and flips the lineup card over to Pickering. And the top of the order sends this one right out towards Dow in right field. Dow, some great range out there. Didn't have to go far to get to that liner.
Yeah, that would have been a tricky play going back to that little bunt down in front for any of those players around it to make. Trying to get that throw back across the field, trying to get it over to the second baseman, not used to playing first, obviously. The first baseman coming in trying to get play on that ball. And the runner obviously right in the flight pass as well.
That one skips in front. There's only one play at first as Parity just kind of escorted that over to the bag at first, and Pratt was able to scoop it up. And it dropped right in front of her, so that hop kind of messed her up defensively. They're able to get Knight, now runners at second and third for Matty Rock. This one sent out towards the gap in right center field. That'll get cut off by Degno, but the runner coming home from second will score without a throw. Thomas gets on the board here. It's 4-2 in the third inning.
And that was a big hit there from the graduate student. Who else was just about to say something about how this is where kind of those veteran presences step up in a situation like this. Lose or go home scenario here could potentially be one of Matty Rock's last collegiate softball games. I think definitely a little bit bigger moment for her than maybe a freshman getting some of their first championship minutes here.
Yeah, you really want to make the most out of that last performance, make a memorable mark on the field, and leave on an exclamation point. Oberhalser, now the batter, retired for the first time today via the strikeout. That was back in the first. But still, 5 for 6 isn't too bad on the day. He's ahead 2-0 of Mayo. Sends this one out towards short. And moving in to make the catch on the line is Rinn to end the inning. Soft liner from Oberholzer. Terriers plate 2. It's an RBI double from Matty Rock, or RBI single from Matty Rock. 2-run ball game. We head to the 4th. Top of the 4th, Jessica Dow will lead it off for the Beavers. Jenny Witten out there now working with a little bit of run support from the bats of the Terriers. Maybe a little bit more confidence. It's going to be important for her to set down the Terriers without a run to try to get those bats back out there. First pitch just misses low to Dow.
I think that definitely helps as a pitcher when you can kind of leave the game down 4 and then come back in just a few minutes later.
That one ripped down the left field line. It gets past the dive of Emily Rock. Dow rounding first and heading for second. She'll get in there standing with a leadoff double. Her second of the day. Dow was 2 for 2 with 2 doubles and an RBI.
We mentioned one of the better batters in the North Atlantic Conference, batting in that 8-hole, kind of interesting spot to put her in that lineup. I think it allows them to kind of reset back to the top side of the lineup. You have her batting in that 8-hole, and then once you get back to the 1, 2, 3 batters, there's a player on base already for them.
Kind of just resets the order before fully resetting the order after the first time through. As this one, bunt goes foul. Now with 2 strikes, Emily Collins. Collins was just trying to move Dow 60 feet closer. Now down 0-2, no choice but to protect. Here's the 0-2 from Witten. Sent on the ground towards first. Oberholzer has it. Thought about throwing over to the third, but makes the decision to eat it. With Dow, that would have been a very close play, but most likely would have been late.
Yeah, I think a good smart decision there. You throw that one over. Yes, theoretically, you might have been able to pick them off, but also there's that chance of throwing a little too high or a little too low, goes past them, all of a sudden a run crosses.
This one popped up. Oberholzer there to make the grab.
The center fielder, number 2, JoJo Dano.
Now JoJo Dano had a single in the last inning. Later came around to score the first run of, or the only run of that inning for the Beavers.
Yeah, Dano just trying to get a base hit here.
This one sent out towards right field. Federico underneath it to make the catch. Inning is over as Witten does her job and able to get off or out of the circle without allowing a run. Terriers bats coming back up in the bottom of the 4th. Well, after getting around that inning, just a leadoff double, Jenny Witten will lead it off now for the Terriers. See what she can do in the batter's box. To be settling in the circle, fouls the first offering back towards us out of play.
And I think there's no better feeling as a pitcher than when you can give yourself run support out there. And it's something that's kind of rare in a lot of higher competitions, but I think at this level, definitely you see it a lot more.
Yeah, it's rarer to see two-way players the further up you get, but the college level two-way players are, I'll say, fairly common. You'll see at least one or two that has had some time on both sides. This one also fouled back just off of the glass towards us. Watch out.
That's why you spend the good money on the glass for the press box.
See, I'm trying to open the window to make that catch, but another foul tip back to the screen. I think, there's a couple of things that I really, really want to be in the booth for, and that's like a no-hitter, a perfect game, something like that. Ticked immaculate inning off yesterday. That was pretty fun. But this one sent up towards second. Parity has it. Over to Platt to retire Witten. But between all of those pitching ones, I think like a cycle would be really cool. I think just that typical list of baseball, softball stats, making a catch while I'm broadcasting. That would be the top tier.
I think there's definitely a lot of cool kind of moments that happen up in these booths.
What else are you going to call your own highlight, right? Rock gives this one a ride out towards left field. There to make the catch, Collins on the run. Barely able to hang on as she avoids Dagno around on the run, and a great running catch to rob Emily Rock of extra bases.
Yeah, that one very easily could have gone down for a hit there for Rock. A little unlucky. She got that great defensive play out in left field there.
Now the catcher, Kayla Duhame, pops this one straight up. They run into each other along the line at first as pitcher Mayo makes the catch. They'll help each other up. And the inning is over. Everyone's all good. So on that note, we head to the break. We'll be back with the bottom of the fourth. Welcome back here for the bottom of the fourth. 4-2 ball game. Sees the Beavers on top of the Terriers so far.
Leading off for Farmington, the third baseman, number 13, Maddie Pike.
Excuse me, top half of the fifth.
And Thomas right now fighting back a little bit offensively. They had that 2-run third inning. Allowed them to bring this one back within 2. 2 is a very manageable score, I think. Farmington wanting to put up a few more runs here in this inning.
Batter Maddie Pike reached via a hit by pitch and an error in her 2 trips today. Takes a big rip way out in front of the offering from Jenny Witten.
Yeah, Pike coming into the tournament, 439 batting average to go along with a 470 on base percentage. I think one of the better contributors in this dangerous lineup. Another young player for Farmington in her sophomore season. Farmington team season definitely going to be one to watch for a few more years here. Obviously, I think Husson's still kind of the big dog in the North Atlantic Conference, but Farmington kind of has those young players to be able to kind of make it a competition for years to come.
This one waited on it and pops it up to left field. Pickering is there. Waited on it and then just got a little too under it. Pike probably got the eyes to light up and all of that. Was thinking about her second home run of the season. And instead pops it up to left field to bring up Krista Allen. Allen, a big cut at that one, gets a piece for strike 1. The 0-1, swing and a miss. Allen down 0-2. Reach on a fielder's choice after that home run in the first. That one goes low and a good eye from the junior. Waves and misses at the high heat as Witten gets her to chase.
The first baseman, number 8, Grace Pratt.
A good job there from Witten attacking Allen. Obviously, Allen having that home run in the first inning can sometimes be a little bit something that gets in the pitcher's head a little bit. Kind of scared of that batter. We saw that in that Husson game. Enzi Doors' final at bat. Kind of just pitched away from her, didn't really throw her anything she could hit at. But on that one, Witten just going right after.
Well, Grace Pratt, first pitch swinging, sent it out to right field. Federico made the catch. The inning is over for the first time today. No teams score in the 4th inning. We head now to the bottom half. Back here for the bottom half of the 5th. Got a little confused as to what inning it was, admittedly, as it'll be Federico who made the catch that ended last inning to start it off for Thomas.
Yeah, I think some errors there with the scoreboard, but it is the bottom of the 5th here. Definitely kind of confusing in these neutral site games between the two teams.
And it's a long day, too. Long day of broadcasting for the both of us.
Thomas, the home team in this one. Trying to fight back a little bit, Ethan. They definitely managed to put up 2 straight zeros on the defensive side of things after Farmington started the game with 3 straight innings of at least 1 run. I think good job here from Farmington, just kind of battling back a little bit. Or from Thomas, that is.
Both these pitchers doing their job and limiting that contact. And when it is, it's weak. Just 7 hits combined. As this one sent out towards the gap in right center. This one a long run. Can't get there for Collins in left. It's a leadoff double for Brooklyn Federico. She's 2 for 2. Excuse me, she's 1 for 1 with a walk.
Did come around to score on that initial walk, so here again in scoring position. Tail end of the lineup doing it for Farmington or for Thomas right now. Poppin really hasn't done much. Oberhalser, the one that we probably would have highlighted coming into the game as probably the #1 player you would think of to kind of break the game open offensively. 0 for 2 in this one, but this tail end of the lineup getting on base.
Shows bunt, pushes it foul. Ferrone able to lay down a couple of nice bunts, resulted in her getting out, but sacrifice bunts throughout this tournament.
Yeah, I think the idea with it here, just trying to get the runner in Federico over to third, make it a lot easier. A fly out to right field that sends her home. So I think that's the idea here from Thomas.
Yeah, at this point, you really got to get another run in to feel good about these next couple of innings. Witten has settled down after those first 3. Is this on place down the first base line? Pratt, the throw over. As the sacrifice plays out perfectly, Federico over to third. Now Layla Pickering, who's squared up the ball in her last at-bat for a liner right at right at Dow in right field. First pitch misses outside. The left fielder waiting. Pitch from Mayo, swing and a miss.
And she caught Pickering on that one. I think Pickering thought that was down the middle. That one kind of strained its way outside. Good breaking ball there from the pitcher.
Pickering definitely had the idea of something else. They are not. That rise ball, as it goes again to the outside part of the plate, 2-1. Still only 1 out for the Terriers. Trying to work their way back into this one to stay alive in the tournament. This one sent out towards center field. Digno, long run over, can't get there. That's off her glove. Pickering rounding second and heading towards third. The throw from Parody will be wide and into third with a stand-up triple. Goes via Pickering. And it's a 1-run ball game here in the 5th.
And a big piece of hitting there from Pickering. All of a sudden, 1-run ball game. Runner at third, 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th. One swing of the bat will tie this one up.
Batter now Leah Knight. Picked up a North Atlantic Conference Player of the Week earlier in the season. Just 5 RBIs. And a chance to make it 6 here. Knight, that more typical leadoff hitter, a lot of speed, 5 stolen bases without getting caught. Getting on base 367, but hitting behind Pickering, who has been getting on base just as good. Win one after that bunt attempt goes foul. Or 0-2, excuse me. Here's the pitch from Mayo. Swung on and missed. Mayo gets Knight to go down swinging. It'll be Maddie Rock. Chance to tie this game up. Represents the go-ahead run here with 2 down in the 5th inning.
Yeah, that's a big strikeout there from the pitcher. That one makes a flyout, won't score that run at third, but Rock here has looked good already in this series overall.
Rock already has the RBI single from earlier in the game. Picked up 3 RBIs against Morrisville. Waves at that pitch from Mayo. Now the 0-2, sent out towards center. That'll get down. That's going to score the tying run. It's a 4-4 ball game here in the 5th as Matty Rock delivers another RBI base hit. Terriers have plated 2 so far in the inning, bringing up Megan Oberhalser.
And a great piece of hitting there from Rock, managing to just kind of choke up on the bat, send that one out into center field. He's kind of found that space right over top of the pitcher.
So Oberhalser going 5 for 5 in that first game, has been retired twice, and both of her at-bats today. Now a chance to make a big impact as that's off the glove of Mayo. The throw at first is going to be late. Oberhalser reaches, and they've got 2 on with 2 out. Here for Jenny Witten.
And the pitcher up here in a big situation. 2 runners on for a chance to kind of give herself a lead in the contest. Probably a pitcher's dream out there.
Swing and a miss. First pitch from Mayo. Witten's 0 for 2 today. This one fouled back towards us. The 0-2. 0-2 now the count. Chance to work out of the inning for Mayo. A chance to really deliver for Witten. So we're fouled back. So in a different kind of pitcher's duel, maybe in this at-bat. Two pitchers squaring off for the 3rd time today. Once again, the 0-2 swung on and missed. Able to work out of the inning is Mayo, but 2 runs across for the Terriers ties it up. It's 4-4 as we head to the 6th here on the Husson Eagles Sports Network. Back here from Bangor, it's the top half of the 6th. Leading it off will be Bella Miller.
Leading off for Farmington is
Miller
the catcher number 10.
reaching both times today, benefit of a fielder's choice and catcher's interference. We'll try to open up the scoring back up for Beavers, who've been held scoreless the last 2 innings by Witten. The first pitch misses low.
And a great contest already. Here's Ethan Thomas managing to come back in this one. 2 runs in a couple of innings here. It's made it a 4-4 ball game. All 4 contests between these 2 teams on the season, I think, have been good contests as well. Both the ones at the end of the season were close games.
Yeah, 5-2 and 4-3 the final scores. Both going the favor of the Beavers on that final weekend of North Atlantic Conference play. just a few days ago. Meeting again here in the tournament for the second time, as Miller just waited on that rise ball that was a little late out of the hands of Witten and still fouled it back.
Yeah, and the Terriers trying to win the games that really matters, Ethan. Obviously, those regular season ones are important for seeding and everything. But these playoff ones, if you win these ones, these are the way you move forward in the tournament, no matter if you're the lower seed or not.
Both of these teams fighting to stay alive. And the winner of this one will go on to play Poly right after this. And that's a swing and a miss. Looked like an ephus pitch from Witten, if you could call it that. And got the strikeout of Miller.
The second baseman, number 9, Olivia Parody.
Olivia Parody. A couple nice plays at second. Now with one down here in the 6th. Upstairs, 2-1 now. Witten really has done a great job of settling in. He's only allowed the one hit after those first 3 innings. This one could be another as that's falling fast and off of the glove of Maddie Rock at short. She made a great effort and just couldn't quite get there. It's a 1-out base hit for Olivia Parody.
Yeah, that one's not Rock's fault. Trying to make that play back over her outside shoulder and get there on that one. It's a tricky play, no matter who you are out there. I've been seeing Rock make those plays, though, all week, so difficult one for her.
First pitch, a strike to Jessica Dow. We've mentioned as one of the biggest bats in this lineup for the Beavers. That one low. 1-1 the count. Here with 1 out. Parody off of first. It's a 4-4 ball game. Swing and a miss. That pitch had some late English on it, and it fooled Dow. Now 1-2 incoming from Witten. It's chopped towards third, off of the glove of Emily Rock, and that one will have no play. A rare defensive miscue from either one of the Rock sisters. And Dow reaches, now 2 on with 1 down. A pinch runner, as it'll be Riley Russell coming out for Olivia Parody. Batter will still be Emily Collins. A couple nice plays, nice effort out there in left field. Has had some tough balls hit her way. A lot of room to try to track them down, and has done so a couple of times. Missed a couple of other ones that were just out of the reach. Chance to put Farmington back on top. The go-ahead run standing at second. There in Parody, or excuse me, in Russell.
Yeah, a couple of tough ones out there for Witten. I mean, both those plays are tricky for either of those players over there, but they're both makeable catches.
Misses inside, now 1-1. Collins, another one of these younger players, a sophomore out of Moscow, Maine. Two and one now the count. Corners in for the Terriers. This one sent right back up the middle. Witten will go to third for 1. There's going to be no other play as they cut down the lead runner. A smart play from the pitcher. And the lineup will flip back over here with 2 outs.
Shortstop, number 11, Abby Wren.
Abby Wren will be the batter. Couple of outs today, 0 for 2, but historically a tough out. 384 for the freshman.
Those smart there from Wynn to pick off the lead runner. Also puts you in that situation now with 2 outs. You can induce a fly out, and it's just perfectly fine out there. See if Wynn can try to escape out of this inning after putting a couple runners on.
Be a big confidence boost as well. You're heading back to the 6th after you've just taken the lead in the 5th. This one goes high, 3-0. Now loading the bases here for Degno. Could be interesting. Degno has been a fantastic batter with runners in scoring position this year. 16 RBIs for the freshman out of Canton, Connecticut, as she'll step up with Rin drawing the walk.
Center fielder number 2, Jojo Deno.
And this is as important of an at-bat as you're really going to see. Obviously, bases loaded, 2 outs here. They know could put Farmington in a position to win this ball game, and or the Terriers could try to get out of this one without allowing any runs despite loading the bases.
So what is this, a dam full of beavers? The bases loaded. Degno waiting the 1-0 offering from Witten as this one towards Rock at third. She'll step on the bag to get out of the inning. Able to work around the bases loaded jam is Jenny Witten. It's still tied 4-4. We head to the 6th. Bottom half of the 6th frame headed your way. It'll be Emily Rock to lead it off. That made the last out, 5 unassisted to end the Beavers' half of the 6th inning. And the Terriers trying to keep this offensive momentum rolling. Plated 2 in the bottom half of the 5th. Tied it up 4-4. Now a chance to try to go ahead. As this one sent out towards right field. Dow underneath it a couple of steps to her left. Rock, a little bit of frustration. That was a good pitch to hit, but couldn't find the right placement.
And she's made contact on all 3 of her outs, just not managing to quite hit them where the Beavers aren't out there.
Now Duhame the batter. Duhame popped up both her times up, gives this one a ride out to left field. That one will be just foul.
That one had the distance, Ethan. Just wasn't quite in bounds enough. I think if that had been even just 5 feet right, that would have been over the fence.
Yeah, not a great angle from here. From our point of view, I would say that definitely looked a little bit fair, but right over the top of the pole, and I'm sure from the field, the third base umpire right down the line has got a great angle. And there wasn't a whole lot of frustration shown around, so I think that that was clearly foul, but man, that would have been a big hit. This one sent the opposite way. Long run for Pratt. She can't get there. Now Now 1-2. Now we'll find Melissa Mayo in the circle, thinking back to that pitch that Duhame almost put onto Husson Avenue. Definitely not throwing that again, at least in this at-bat. Looking for something else on the strikeout pitch. The 1-2 skips in. So count even at 2-2. As Mayo taking her time now in between pitches, really slowed down that pace. 2-2 is fouled back to the screen.
Yeah, I think she knows how important each one of these pitches is. In a tie game like this with only an inning and a half left, really everything is kind of important.
Now payoff pitch from Mayo. Sails high, 3-2 now. Now full count. Duhame working a battle. Maybe trying to straighten something out from earlier in the at-bat. Here's the pitch. This one sent out towards center field. She might have done it. Over the fence and gone. Duhame straightens it out and launches a solo shot to put the Terriers up 5-4 here in the bottom of the 6th.
And what a moment, Ethan, to come through. She had the first pitch of the at-bat. Looked like a home run over that left field wall. Decided to go dead center instead. No doubt about that one, as that was sent sky high out there.
Second home run of the season for the junior backstop. And nothing bigger than that, as now in front are the Terriers 5-4 for the first time today. As Federico, who started off that last inning with a double, now stands in. First pitch in there for a strike. Federico 1 for 1 with a walk. As this one chopped? Slow roller, it's going to be a tough play. The throw is late. Federico reaches on the infield single. And the Terriers are going to keep it rolling now with Abby Ferrone.
Big contest here for Federico. 2 for 2 with a walk as well. Has scored a couple runs. This tail end of the lineup, I think we mentioned it last time through. Doing well out there.
So we'll see a pitching change for the Terriers. So Mayo, her day is done, as it'll be Rita Benoit coming out for the Beavers to try to finish this ball game out and limit the Terriers to any more runs. Off of first is Federico. So just the one runner is the responsibility of Mayo. Her final line could end up with 6 runs or 5 runs, 8 hits. Did her job for the most part, and then the Terriers started to figure her out as the game wore on. Their second, third trips through the lineup were a lot more productive.
Yeah, definitely, Ethan. They started to kind of see those pitches a little bit better. We'll see how Benoit does out there in the pitching circle. Only pitched in 5 games on the year, 3-1 in those 5 games, though. About 14 2/3 innings of work. But in a tough situation here, down 1, she's kind of going to be given the job of, we need you to not allow any more runs. We need you to get out of this inning, and we need you to do the same thing again in the 7th. And then she's going to need the bats for Farmington to come alive in the top half of the 7th inning as well.
Yeah, Farmington one more chance after this to tie it up. And that could look like at least 1 run here with Ferrone in the box. Infield well in, expecting the bunt. Squares it around, that one gets away. So advancing to second is Federico without even needing the bunt. And now 60 feet closer is some more insurance.
I wouldn't be surprised if they continue to try that small ball game have Ferrone lay one down here and try to get a runner over to third.
Squares around, pulls it back. She gets out of the way of that one for ball 2. Benoit, a tough situation for the freshman out of Hollowell, like you mentioned, hasn't seen a whole lot of work this year in a tough spot. This one placed right in front of the plate. They're going to have to throw to first. That's the only play. The throw behind the runner is well late, with Federico easily on third. Now 60 feet away with 2 outs.
Yeah, Benoit pitched against Thomas in that series earlier in the year, had 3 innings of work, allowed no runs, had 2 walks and 2 Ks, only a couple hits. So she's seen these batters before, but they also have seen her as well. So we'll see how that plays out in this one.
First pitch, low. It's Pickering, who's 1 for 3. This one chopped over the head of Benoit. The run will come in, but it'll be caught at first. I thought that one was going to go wide. Pratt with a great snag, as this one limited to just one run for the Terriers. Beavers got their work cut out for them. They need at least 1 in the top half of the 7th when we come back. Top half of the 7th coming your way. Beavers get their last chance in the batter's box. They'll have to face Megan Oberhalser now into the game after Jenny Witten goes 6 innings, allowing 4 runs and 7 hits. She does her job as she gets through the bulk of this one, allowing Oberhalser to try to come in and close it out and secure the berth in the next game. That'll be against SUNY Poly about 30-40 minutes after the conclusion of this one. So fighting to keep playing today are the Terriers, and they did it in the bottom half of the 6th, plating just that 1 run to go ahead. Now putting the pressure all on the Beavers. Maddie Pike will lead it off, and that's a great way to start off this inning if you're Coach Williamson for the Beavers. So you want to start it off. First pitch from Oberhalser is sent foul.
Yeah, Pike's reached base a couple interesting ways so far in this one. At the error and also the hit by pitch. So see if she can get on again here. Down 1. It's kind of do or die for Farmington at this point. You need to get at least 1 run across here. Obviously, you would love to have 2, try to go into the bottom half of the 2nd, or the 7th, that is, with the lead, try to close it out with pitching, but we'll see how that plays out in this one.
The 1-1 to Pike. Ripped. That one gets through into left field for a base hit. It's a leadoff single for Maddie Pike, and the Beavers are in business early here in the 7th. We have Krista Allen now the batter. Mound meeting as Duhame goes out to visit Oberhalser. Try to game plan around Allen, who slobber knocked one out to left field for a home run early on in the 1st inning, a 2-run shot. As we wait, substitutions from the home plate umpire, putting them all down. Now set for play. Still nobody out. Pike off of first, the batter Allen. Chance to come up big for the Beavers. One outside. Tough call, could have gone either way. But consistent zone from all umpires today.
I think it's a veteran crew came in to work these games. Now, from talking to some of them up here in the booth, some of them haven't really ever been up in this Bangor area, but I think a lot of, they bring in kind of the best of the best for this NAC championship.
Overhalser long look in. Now comes set. The pitch on the 2-0 is swung on and missed. Allen way out in front of that pitch. Allen thought about it, and that one just outside or inside. 3-1.
And hitters count here for Allen. Chance to try to give Farmington the lead with another home run.
So it was a pitching lane violation on Oberhalser there, actually resulting in the ball. So 3-1 count. Now to Krista Allen. The pitch from Oberhalser swung on and missed. That one a fair ball, actually, as it was cued up the first base line. It gets away from Witten, and the runner moves over the third in Pike. So Allen got a piece of it, and it sneaks up the line, and it turns into two bases for Maddie Pike, and Allen reaches still nobody out here in the 7th.
And what a mistake there from the Terriers. Probably could have had the out there and held the runner at second, but instead, all of a sudden, Terriers runners at, or Farmington runners at the corners. Chance here, one swing of the bat from Platt to try to get them on top.
So Stephanie Morse comes in as the pinch runner for the designated player, Krista Allen. Morse runs well and could represent another run with Grace Pratt at the dish.
Yeah, I think a double here probably could score two, depending on where it is out there.
Pratt sends this one out towards the outfield. That one is caught by Knight, but tagging at third, coming home is Pike. She will score the tying run. Over to second goes Stephanie Morse, and a sacrifice fly from Grace Pratt on the infield. It's a tie game.
Yeah, it's still great play there from the second baseman in Knight to just get a glove on that and catch it. If that one had gone over her head, that would have scored at least one and had nothing in terms of the out department as well out there.
So runner on at second. Now for Bella Miller, who has a strikeout fielder's choice and that interference. This one sent out towards right field. Federico has a read on it. Runner tagging as Morse heads towards third. No throw as Knight makes the decision to hold on to it. So now up steps Olivia Parody with two down. Chance to try to take the lead. The go-ahead run in Morse 60 feet away. And Parody singled her last time up in the 6th. Upstairs, ball one.
Base hit here would give Farmington the lead, Ethan, so important at bat here. You know, obviously, Thomas could take a walk or something, but you can't allow anything to get down out there and score the run.
Called strike right at the knees. Oberhalser got to calm down and try to just make this last out. Stop worrying about that runner on third. Just focus on the batter. Try to give yourself the best chance to walk it off in the bottom half. She gets out in front of Parity 1 and 2.
And not the performance from Oberhalser you would have expected. Obviously, it was so dominant in that game versus Morrisville. Now coming in this sticky situation, and it not looking quite as sharp out there in the pitching circle.
Well, you know, long week for Oberhalser. Pitching yesterday, pitching earlier today. Now a third appearance in 2 days. The 2-2 in there for strike 3. Oberhalser freezes Parity. This one still tied as the Beavers get a run. As the Terriers coming up, a chance to walk it off here in the bottom of the 7th. Back here for the bottom of the 7th, it'll be Leah Knight to lead it off. Again, I'm Ethan Moss alongside Avery Henningsen. This one has been a great contest so far, back and forth. Both teams being able to score 2 runs in their first opening run-scoring innings, and then piecing it all together, resulting 5-5. Here in what could be this final frame. Leah Knight leading it off for the Terriers. Knight fouls this one back to the screen. It's 1-1.
And if there's any player who could kind of get a run across here in this one after getting on base, I think Leah Knight definitely has the speed to, if she can get on base, a couple of small ball plays later could get her over to third pretty easily.
1-1 from Benoit goes high. Benoit, excuse me. Now 2-1. Again, Maddie Pike sitting on deck. This one sent out towards center field. That'll get down for a base hit right in front of Degno. And a leadoff hit for the Terriers. Leah Knight does her job now for Maddie Pike at the dish.
The shortstop, number 12, Maddie Rock.
And we'll see if they try to get aggressive here with Knight. Couldn't have her trying to steal second. Obviously, Rock, one of the better hitters, maybe not the one he want, kind of laying down the sacrifice bunt in this situation.
I think in this situation, you have her swing away. You want to take a chance on that bat. Again, she's hitting .438 in the regular season. To put it in perspective, that's approaching 50% success rate at the plate. Swan, that one through the left side off of the glove of the shortstop, Wren. The runner heading for third is in there safely as Knight with aggressive base running, now 60 feet away from being the winning run. Maddie Pike into second. Or Maddie Rock, excuse me, there's so many different Maddies. Maddie Rock, there we go. We got Maddie Pike on the side of the Beavers, Maddie Rock on the side of the Terriers, and a long day results in a little bit of some scrambling.
I think we've probably said about 200 names that we've never heard before in our lives today.
It's part of the job. It's a lot of fun. Days like this are always fun. They're long, but it's just so much sport, so much entertainment. If you really live for it, it's a lot of fun. Oberhalser watches that one go high.
But Thomas here's Ethan so much in the driver's seat right now. Nobody out, 2 runners on. Obviously, don't really want to throw a ball right down the middle here to Oberhalser. I mean, I think you could
This one out towards left field, slicing foul.
That had dropped. I think that would have scored a run. Knight so fast over there at third. Probably could have gotten in easily on that one.
Well, how about this script, though? Oberhalser could be the hero for the Terriers after playing the hero all day. Called strike 2. Three-one count, excuse me. The pitch from Benoit. Swung on and missed. Oberhalser chases well high. And there's one down here in the 7th.
I think you were right about that count, actually, Ethan. I think that was another scoreboard error out there. I think it was a 2-2 count, so that one, Oberhalser going down on strikes.
This one back towards the pitcher, coming home, tagging, the runner is out. So 2 outs as Knight is tagged out at home. Benoit handles the comebacker. And now the Terriers, one more chance to bring home a runner.
Great job there from Benoit out there in the pitching circle. Heads up play I think normally you might not throw that one home, but right there you need to in that situation. And great tag. Knight trying to slide around it, almost got past the catcher. But all of a sudden here, Benoit trying to fight herself out of this bases loaded, nobody out jam. And is getting there already.
So the batter now, Emily Rock, after they put on Witten. Rock hitting just shy of 200 in the regular season. Could bring home her sister as this one gets away from Benoit. The throw over to first is late, and the Terriers win it. The game is over, and it's a walk-off for Emily Rock as she brings home her sister to advance to the game in about 40 minutes against SUNY Poly. What a game, and its final score of 6-5 as the Terriers eliminate the Beavers. They head to the North Atlantic Conference Championship semifinal. That'll be about 30 to 40 minutes, so expect that 4:40, approaching 5. That'll be first pitch. Wondering who we're going to see go out there for the Terriers. Oberhalser obviously pitching a lot of these innings for the Terriers throughout this stretch. They had Witten go today, and she went well. They have a couple of other pitchers. We saw Addie Boyce with the start earlier. So a couple of options for Coach Plord out there.
Well, it's a tricky situation because you would think, obviously, that game is kind of do or die for them, so you think you would pitch your ace out there, but also if you win that one, are you going to then pitch Oberhalser again on Saturday against the Eagles, who are the number 20th ranked team in the nation right now? 3 days in a row for her. Obviously, I think it's kind of doable in the sport of softball, but a lot of wear and tear on your sophomore pitcher.
Yeah, not only just 3 days in a row, but a fourth start in 3 days. That coming after your first start in 2 months. And that was on Thursday for that opening game. So a lot of questions to think about in the next 40 minutes for Coach Plord. We're going to think about stuff of our own as we get ready for this semifinal between SUNY Poly and the Terriers of Thomas College in about 40 minutes. Once again, I've been Ethan Moss alongside Avery Henningsen. A final score of 6-5 here from Bangor.